You know, when it was announced that Beth Phoenix was going to be inducted into this year's Hall of Fame, a lot of people looked at it as probably one of the most controversial choices out there. And a lot of people pretty much were very negative about it. I mean, I came out and did a video here with this very camera saying that, basically giving my thoughts on it and how, I feel, yeah, it's a little too soon. And that there are others out there like Ivory and, and Molly Holly and China and Sable and all them, Rockin' Robin, all them, that deserve to go in before she does. But the only reason, according to a lot of reports and sources, the only reason Beth is going in, at all, is due to her marriage to Edge. And some are looking at it like Dave Meltzer, Brian Alvarez, you name it, Bill Apter probably. They're all looking at it as WWE's way to try to get to Edge and try to get Edge to work more for them. In other words, maybe work specifically on a certain blue brand or a certain red band. Basically, a lot of people are speculating WWE is doing this to get Edge to work more exclusively with them and on a certain wrestling brand, like the blue brand, SmackDown Live, or the red brand, which is Raw. That's what a lot of people are speculating. Hating is the reason why Beth is getting inducted. A lot of people have even said that, hey, if Beth wasn't married to Edge, a lot of people seriously doubt she would even get into the Hall of Fame as quickly as she has. But a lot of people, like I said, are speculating that this is the main reason she's going in, or at least one of the main reasons. A lot of people feel that because she's married to Edge, she's going in this quickly, and it's because they want to get to Edge. They want to get closer to him. They want to try to convince him, hey, work with us more, and things can be great. Work with us more and things can be great. A little squirrel right there. But anyway, it's like they're saying, hey, work with us more and things can be great. And, I think that right there, that being possibly the reason in the eyes of a lot of fans, maybe some insiders, as to why she's going in so quickly, is possibly the main reason she's getting so many negative and controversial responses. I mean, yeah, you have Edge, Adam Copeland, come out and defend why she's going in, and that's okay, and that's great. That's terrific. He's putting out all these accolades just like everybody else has, if not more so, mixing in some of the things she did in OVW, and again, that's great. That's terrific. But a lot of people are like, why? But are still like, why? Why is she going in? And a lot of people are probably looking at that. I mean, Don Tony of the Don Tony and Kevin Castle show even looked at that and he said, yeah, that's great and everything, but why do this now? Why don't you guys wait until your kids are old enough? Your kids are old enough to understand the importance as to what's happening here. I mean, even Don Tony and even Don Tony, whether you like the guy or not, even points out that when Edge got inducted, they didn't even show Beth, even though he mentioned her by name. They didn't show her on television. It's like they didn't show her on screen as far as we know, and it's like, okay, why? Is there something going on? Did she do something? I don't know. And the thing is, the thing I worry about the most with Beth going into the Hall of Fame this year, especially amongst all this negativity and controversy of her induction, of her being inducted, and everything. I think the biggest thing that a lot of fans have to worry about with Beth, in fact, it's the biggest question I think anybody would like to ask and have answered, is will she get the treatment that several other inductees, celebrity, past superstars, have gotten at times? And that is, will Beth Phoenix, when she comes out and her music hits, or when whoever inducts her comes out and talks about her accolades, and then like I said, as soon as her music hits, who's to say she's not going to get booed out of the building? Who's to say she's not going to get a treatment of disrespect? I mean, I know the WWE is trying to change that up and say, hey, look, if you're going to attend this, it's going to be a suit and tie event, and yes, please be respectful about the inductees and everything. You may not like who gets inducted, but please be respectful. Do you think, honestly, those people that go in to that Amway Arena in Miami or in Orlando, Florida, the Airway Arena or Amway Arena, whatever they call it, do you think, honestly, that they're going to just dress up and be respectful? No. What's going to happen is they're going to, as soon as Beth, maybe not just Beth, but as soon as Beth and maybe a few other inductees comes out and, starts talking and accepting this induction, they're going to get booed. Plain and simple. They are going to get booed out of the building. I hate to say that, with all due respect to Beth. I'm not saying she doesn't deserve it. She does deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, but the reason she's probably going to get booed out of the building is it's not because she doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. She does, but a lot of fans, hardcore fans, because remember, WrestleMania weekend is one of those main weekends, if not the main weekend, the main time of year for the hardcore wrestling fans to converge on where WrestleMania is going to be, and other wrestling events are going to be as well. It's that time of year for those hardcore wrestling fans to converge on that location and try to let their voices be heard. And what I'm saying is, I fear that Beth Phoenix is going to get booed. And it's not because she doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. I'm sure a lot of those hardcore fans will agree she does, but she's going to get booed because of WWE choosing her to go in so soon. See, a lot of those fans were probably hoping she'd be back to be part of this new women's revolution, so they can have their dream matches of Beth Phoenix against Sasha Banks, Beth Phoenix against Becky Lynch, Beth Phoenix against Charlotte, Beth Phoenix against Asuka, and so on and so forth. But now they're not going to get it. I mean, they still may get it, but they're not going to get it the way they were hoping. And that's the reason Beth, I fear, is going to get that negative reaction. Now, I'd be surprised if she doesn't, and people are like, you know what? It's what it is. Let's just give her the respect she deserves, the accolades, hate and respect she deserves, and let's just go from there. And that'd be great. That would be terrific for Beth to have. That would be a great accomplishment for her to have. But the problem with that is this. It's not the fact that she doesn't deserve to go in, when you think about it. It's not the fact that she doesn't deserve a place in the Hall of Fame. She does. What's pissing a lot of people off, insiders and fans, and even purists themselves, wrestling purists themselves, that are currently competing in the ring as we speak, that have probably gone up against Beth Phoenix, and they're still in their prime. What's pissing a lot of people off is the possible reason why she's going in. And that is because of her marriage to Edge. That's mainly what it is, and that's what's pissing a lot of fans off. That's what's pissing them off. That's what's making them mad about this entire situation. It's not the fact she doesn't deserve to go in. She does. But it's more along the lines of, oh, you're putting her in because she's married to freaking Edge. And that's what makes them mad. It's not because of what she did, because honestly, if it's based on what she did and not her marriage to Edge, or any other reason, WWE no doubt would have waited another 5, maybe another, another 3-4 years, another 3-4 years before they put her in. They would have waited at least up to a decade, maybe 8 years at most, or a decade at most, maybe 8 years at least, before they said, okay, Beth, you're going in. And I know some people who are going to defend it say, well, she has been gone for a while. It's been 5, 6, 7 years. You know, she hasn't really been in the ring that much. She's pretty much retired. Why not just get it over with? And I'm not arguing that. Neither is anybody else. What they're arguing, folks, is the way she's going in. Is how she's been selected to go in. That's what's making them mad. It's the fact that she's going in because she's married to Edge. She's basically being used as leverage by the WWE to get Edge to do more with them. In the eyes of a lot of in the eyes of a lot of people, from what they see and probably have heard. And that's what's pissing off a lot of fans. It's not the fact she doesn't deserve to go in. It's not the fact she doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame right now. She does. It's not the fact that she doesn't belong in any Hall of Fame. She's earned that right. What it is how she's going in. A lot of people are speculating, if not pretty much set on the fact that she's going in because of her marriage to Edge. And a lot of people feel that if that wasn't the case, WWE would have waited at least another few years, maybe 3 to 4 years before putting her in. Not now. They would have waited, in the eyes of fans, until maybe 2020 or 2019 or 2021 before they put her in. That's what a lot of people are speculating. Is they would have waited at least until the beginning of the new decade before putting her in to the Hall of Fame. That's what's pissing a lot of fans off. Is they're doing this too soon in their eyes, and it's only being done because of the fact that Edge is her husband. Now you might say, well, Edge went in the year later after he retired. It's because Edge was never going to get back in the ring. He was forced into retirement. He was basically forced to hang it up. That's what it was. If he would have competed again, he would be paralyzed, if not dead. Okay? He would have been paralyzed, if not dead. Alright? He would have been done. History. That's why they put him in the following year. You can say, well, what about Eddie Guerrero? Eddie Guerrero went in because he passed away suddenly, and he was still active in the ring. He was still competing when he passed. The point is, those are the exceptions. Alright? Those are some of the exceptions as to why they went in the following year. When you look at someone like Beth Phoenix and her going in currently, hold on for a sec. Somebody was in the car anyway. But anyway, when you look at how Beth Phoenix is going in right now, that's what's ticking a lot of people off. She's going in way too soon in their minds. No, maybe not too soon, but still it's too close to from when she left, and left the business, left the WWE. It's still a little too close. And a lot of people are basically speculating and a lot of people are speculating, and like I said, are basically set on the fact that the reason she's going in is because of her marriage to Edge, and all this is being done, and the reason this induction is happening is as this induction of Beth is happening is to be used as leverage for WWE to get Edge to do more with them. That's why a lot of people are angry about this. And that's why I fear she's going to get a negative reaction when she comes out. As soon as her music plays, she's going to get a negative reaction. The only way she can turn that into a positive reaction is after she accepts the Hall of Fame induction. She says something along the lines that, oh, by the way, I'm not done. I still have some unfinished business. The Glamazon is not done yet. Or something like that. Basically acknowledging that she's going to come back and compete. Now that may nullify her Hall of Fame status, maybe not. But she's basically, if she does something like that, or as Don Tony says, acknowledges that there are other people more deserving than her, and basically rejects her Hall of Fame induction and says, look, I'm not gonna, if she comes out and says, hey, I'm honored to be inducted, but now is not the time because I still have some unfinished business here in the WWE. There's a lot of other women now that think they're the best, but they've not gone against the Glamazon. Now, she says something along the lines of, she rejects. I mean, she can do a first too. She can reject her induction. She can say, take the ring back. I don't want it. I still have time on the clock. I still have time to reprove myself as a dominant female. And she says she's going to come back. That will turn a negative reaction into a positive, because at least Beth will realize, these fans are right. These fans are right. I still have time. There's a lot of all these other women that have yet to go up against me and test me, and I've yet to test them. I hope, that's what a lot of fans are hoping. She does something that nullifies her, that has her nullify her induction, basically, erasing the induction for now, putting it on hold until she's ready. Or at least does something to where maybe she does accept the induction, but acknowledges, hey, I'm not done yet. I'm not really done competing. So hopefully she does something along those lines to where she can turn that negative response into a positive response, because in a way she would have listened to the fans and been like, you know what? These people are right. Now is not my time to be, now is not my time to be in the Hall of Fame, but someday it will be. That's what they're hoping for. That's what they're hoping for, because you know what? With all due respect to Beth, not saying she hasn't done a lot of stuff in WWE, but a lot of people are looking at the fact she hasn't done that as much as she should. And it's some people will say, oh yeah, she was in the first Divas Tables match, the first Divas I Quit match. She was the second woman in the Royal Rumble. Okay, fine. She's one of the women out there to be both the women's champion, to hold both the women's championship and the Divas championship. Okay, fine. But even if that's the case, folks, and all those accolades, you could say, oh, those are, and you could say those accolades pretty much justify her going in. What it is again, a lot of fans and insiders that I've already mentioned, and even wrestling purists that are probably still competing, that have gone against her, are looking at the fact that, hey, this girl hasn't even been gone that long from the business. This girl probably still has several years left in her. She's young. She's younger than me by a year or two. She's younger than me by a year or two. So it's like, why go in now? You still have plenty of time. And that's what a lot of people are looking at. They're looking at all these other, loopholes as to why she shouldn't be going in right now. A lot of people are looking at those loopholes like, wait a minute. She's 31, she's 30, 31. Something like that. Or not 30. She's basically in her 30s. Like her mid-30s, early to mid-30s. And yet she's going in all of a sudden? To them, that doesn't make sense. And again, I'm sure there's some wrestling purists that she's gone up against that are about her age, maybe a little older, younger, that probably feel the same way. Like, why is she going in now? She's still got plenty of time left. And I'm sure there's some ladies like Ivory, Rockin' Robin, Molly Holly, Sable, China, God rest her soul, China. But China's family, like I said, Molly Holly, Tori Wilson, Stacy Keibler, like I said, Ivory, and heck, even recent female inductees into the Hall of Fame like Medusa, Alondra Blaze, Wendy Richter. They're probably looking at this and going like, why? This girl still has time on her hands. This girl still has years ahead of her. Why is she going in now? And all of them are pretty much I'm not saying they are, but in my opinion, they're probably in agreement with the fact that the only reason she's going in is she's married to Edge. And WWE is going to use that as leverage to get Edge to work with him. Or maybe they're pretty much convinced she's not going to come back to wrestling, and pretty much, hey, let's put her in right now and get it over with. I think that's what a lot of people are upset about. It's more along the lines, like I said, it's the circumstance. It's the reason in their minds and what they're set upon, in their minds, the speculation and what they're set upon as to why she's going in. The only reason she's going in their eyes and in their minds, is because she's married to Edge. And the WWE wants to use this as leverage to get Edge to work for them on one of their brands. That's why they're doing this. In the eyes of a lot of people. Insiders, fans, wrestling purists, wrestling legends, Hall of Famers. That's pretty much, in my opinion, why she's getting this controversial reaction. That's why a lot of people are looking at this as one of the, if not one of the most controversial choices in years, and why she's getting such a controversial and not negative response towards this. That's why. So hopefully Beth Phoenix acknowledges this and says, you know what, and does something to at least she could turn that around and say, you know what, you guys are right. I shouldn't be going in right now. I should wait. I still have time to get back in that ring, improve myself against these new talents, this newer generation. Hopefully, in the eyes of people, she does that. But if not, her going in, well, you can't really do much about it. Like I say, her going in, you can't really do much about it. And all I could say is WWE is going to have a lot of making up for this to do as far as the Hall of Fame is concerned. Because you know what? As far as the Hall of Fame is concerned, and if you will, people are never going to take it legitimately ever again. If they ever did, they're not going to take it seriously or legitimate after this year, no matter who the future inductees are that join Beth and the other inductees for this year's class. It's going to be like, it's basically going to be, hey, what's the point anymore? It's like, why even go there? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? They're going to have to really make up for this somehow, some way. So, but that's what I worry about. I worry about the fact is Beth Phoenix going to get booed out of the arena at the WWE Hall of Fame this year? What do you guys think? Comment below. Talk to you later. I got to get me some lunch before I clock back in.